anymore because we're not slaves.
If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel.
Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I think we're there. We're here, and you are too. Thank you, and good morning to Plantastic Beginners. Hey, and we also have the ADA. I think this is Cheek Diop. That's beautiful. I think that's a total name, but welcome. Is certainly wonderful to have you here. And Jackson Sophia, or Sophia Jackson 2022. Thank you very much for being here. We also have, we're on live, we're streaming on YouTube Live and on Facebook Live. So yeah, we're going to talk about some things today that really make a big difference. And earlier we were having a conversation, with Carolyn Gento. Yay. So I'm going to bring her on. Carolyn, welcome this morning. And how are you doing?
Doing wonderful, doing great. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you and I can hear
right.
you. I'm going to bring that up a little bit so that we can hear. Okay, great. So yes, we're looking good. Juanita Kurosaki is here. Hey, I know you're still partying. Juanita just celebrated her 90th birthday, and we were there to celebrate it with her, and it was just really wonderful. Thank you for being here. Hey, we got Shirley Gento is in the house. This is, oh man, already a wonderful, we're going to have a great time. We have great people. So good morning, Lily. And it's great to see you. And who else is here? We got a lot of folks that are coming in. So beautiful. That's what we want to do. Make sure that if you want to leave a message or ask a question, just simply fill the, you can chat with everybody in the studio, or you can just simply make a comment. But let's keep it busy this morning. I want to keep it live. We're talking about diabetes today, and diabetes is something that plagues Africans, that plagues African Americans, that plagues American Africans. This is something that we have to really take serious, and we're going to talk about these things. The main thing that we want to do today is that we want to make sure that you get the information that can help you to maintain diabetes if you already have it, to explain to you what pre-diabetes is, or you might have some other questions about gestational diabetes, and all of those. We're going to see if we can get all of this to your ears, to your brain, so that we can help ourselves. We are definitely trailing far behind when it comes to nutritional science. And our whole purpose is that we explain, that we share, that we edify this particular opportunity and demographic, so that we can reach the people that need to hear us. Now, we don't even pretend to be, and when I say we, I think I'm just talking about me and Carolyn Gento. We've been doing this together for a while, and we already know that there's a lot of things that we have to acknowledge, and that's to be patient. That we're not going to have people flocking to hearing about, ooh, how I can be healthy, because we've been really taught, I mean, seriously and in depth, on how not to care about yourself. Put your life in the hands of other people. So we want to change that, and we can start changing that today. Some of the things throughout Africa, we're going to talk about some of the, well, I'll give you a little history on why we eat as we eat. And before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on to Carolyn. And I know you're busy already. I can tell by the way you're focusing over there. How's it going? And talk to us.
It's going well. You said I'm already busy. I just like to remind the viewers here, or first of all, thank them for being here, and then remind them to share the live and to so we can bring people in to be a part of the conversation. That's like my assignment, to make sure that we stay on track with making sure we're bringing more people in. So share the live.
Hey, something's going on there, Carolyn. It's an interruption where
It interrupts my words.
there you
Okay.
go. Now it's
Can you hear
good.
me now? Okay, great. Just going on my doing the part as far as letting people know to share the live, and recognizing those that are in the live right now. Shanizi, thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you. And Lily, we already saw Lily. Hello, Lily.
Good morning, Lily.
Yolanda Rogers is in the house. Uh,
Yes, yes.
hello to everyone. We are here today in the Mind of Nature with Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. I am his co-host Carolyn, and we are talking about anti-diabetic meals for the holidays. So again, I think it's something that you may hear me say all the time. That's a great topic. Great topic because we have a lot of we have the holidays. Really, I would say they're coming up, but they are here. The holidays are here, and a lot of people in the Black community are dealing with either pre-diabetes or being diabetic, and we want to be able to help them get through the holidays. I call it surviving the holidays when it comes to eating and all those things. So great topic, Dr. Zarif.
Thank you very much. As we also welcome BJ the Boss is here with us this morning, and all those wonderful people that got up this morning. We know it's early, but guess what? We're off to a very wonderful start. So we do thank you. And some of the things that I want you to know about this anti-diabetic holiday meals is that we don't want to go too far into the, let's say, the more negative part of it, because there's usually when we report the information that we have on certain subjects, sometimes it goes awry. And I wanted to keep it where we can be open and we can accept some of the things that you're going to hear today. And sometimes it's a little difficult to hear them because we're stepping directly on your toes. And if we are, we apologize ahead of time, because that's not what we set up to do. We don't get up early and do all the studying and interviewing just so that we can hurt somebody's feelings or make you feel uncomfortable. Please let us know if we ever do that. It's definitely a mistake. So we're not the know-it-alls and want you to just listen to us. And we are the professionals that are the professionals and all that. We really are here to educate each one of us so that we can do better, because we took time to listen. We took time to write it down. We took time to put it in motion. Okay, so that's what we're about. I just wanted to make sure that you know that, because I know there are so many people that really have their shows going now, and there are so many people that really have no idea of the science of nutrition. They're saying the same thing that they said when I was a little boy in elementary school. I see the same stuff. And we want to change that. So I've dedicated my entire life to that, and my family understands that. People that know me, my students, my comrades, I am here to help our community. And sometimes that means looking at we're in the single digits. How many people listening? It might be 3 people, and we have to keep going. So whether there's 3 people or 3 million people, that's how we want to bring it. we want to make sure that we can help, that you will leave here saying, I didn't know that. I can put that in motion. Okay, so welcome. And we have also the Arabic sweet princess. That's my daughter. Amira, how you doing? It's great to see you. And Amira's name means a patient princess. And that I see she's definitely in action with herself. So hi, sweetheart. It's great to see you. Now, throughout the African American and the African diaspora, food takes on many different forms and traditions, just like the people who make it up. Enslaved Africans brought their cooking and farming traditions to the Americas, and those were then transformed by the conditions they faced. The heritage of many recipes considered today to be soul food, we found in our crops, and we found in techniques that first developed in enslaved communities. This presentation isn't going to be just about you knowing about the disease, and all you're going to hear about is what you want to eat. We're not going to do it like that. We already know what we want to eat, but we want to look at what diabetes is and how we can do something about it. Well, first of all, I'm going to go right into it. I'm going to be bouncing around a little bit here because I really wanted to take time to, this is about education. And when we talk about education, we want to make sure that what we're saying, again, are things that you can walk away with, things that you can actually use. So the challenge of a plant-based Christmas dinner is that's our little light. That's our, capturing title or the meaning of it. But there's so much more to it. Like diabetes, I want to talk about what is that. But I also want to keep it mixed with the blend of having fun with your family, visiting, enjoying it, so you're not sitting around looking like you don't belong there. And we don't want to do that. Okay, we want to enjoy it. Yeah, the uncles, the cousins, everybody, because there's going to be somebody there. Oh, here you go with that. Yeah, man, I don't eat what I want to eat. Uncle James, he lived to be 900, and he, all that stuff. You're going to hear that, but get ready for it. Be prepared. And as we go through this day, we're going to definitely go through some things that you're going to find very useful. Now, some of the things that already we're doing that we think that's really good are those things that are part of the trap that's set for us as we get out there and we go shopping and so forth. And that's one of the things. Number one is the buying some of these sugar-free foods. Now in the supermarkets, they're full of things that appear to be diabetes friendly because they don't have sugar added. But many of them are like the substitutes. They contain carbs. They also are not the best or the healthiest foods for our body. So when you're reading sugar-free, that doesn't mean that they haven't added sweeteners. Let's go to the next point. The next point, swapping your meals for meal replacement bars. There's no bar that can replace a meal, period. I mean, I know it's good money. You make people making that money selling it, and they'll sell the story to you. But losing weight is a combination of getting enough rest, eating nutrients or healthy foods, and physical activity. Period. Done. Some people stay in shape really good, very easily. Why? Because they got that wonderful DNA happening. Yay! Genetics, hereditary. That's some of us luck up and have that, and some people don't. So swapping the meals for the meal replacement bars, we want to stop doing that. Occasionally, when there's an emergency, you're commuting, you're out in the middle of traffic and you can't get to a place to eat, or you've eaten all the food that you have, or you didn't bring anything, that might be a great option as an emergency. Loading up on vitamins and supplements. Vitamins and supplements they do not substitute food. They work with food. So if you're eating vitamins and minerals and you say, I just did this and it's just like, hey, I'm taken care of. No, there is no magic when it comes to just loading up on vitamins and supplements. And that includes your herbs. Some people think because they're taking herbs that it's like it exempts them from being involved or absolves them from being a person that isn't healthy. But it is just like anything else. It's a balance. It's knowing how much of it to take. The herbs, we've been taking herbs for a very long time, especially people that come from, we have our descendants, we're from the descendants in Africa. We are Black folks that eat a certain way, that believe a certain way. And, we eat these foods that we like. And a lot of it has to do with also the euphoria that we get when we eat certain foods. We feel really good. We feel excellent because we just had some ribs and some whatever else that went along with that. So keep that in mind. Just because it's a supplement, just because it's a herb, doesn't mean that, hey, you got your good stuff and that's all you need. Now, drinking juice. Now, natural doesn't always mean healthy. So when you see that word natural, just because you see that word natural doesn't mean that it is healthy. Natural just simply gives people the feeling of, well, this is okay. I'm going to buy that because it says natural. Let's look at this. If you say natural doesn't always mean healthy, take, for instance, 1 cup of apple juice, for example, has 25 grams of sugar and just 0.5 grams of fiber. This is like an apple usually has, when you eat into an apple on the other hand has less than 19 grams of sugar, and it has more fiber in it. Instead of 0.5 grams of fiber, an apple actually has 4.5 grams of fiber. Now it will satisfy you on if we look at the bigger picture, you'll be more satisfied by eating an apple from your hand, not in the juice, because by the time you eat or drink this processed juice, you're not really drinking anything but a sugary liquid. Now let's go downing the diet sodas. Now many people have. I went to, not too long ago, I went to an individual's home. He invited me out. He was hiring me to do some things. I went there and to have a discussion about the business that we were speaking of. And in his garage, he had box or case after case of diet Coca-Cola. And he had some other diet drinks there. And he had chocolate bars in the cabinets. And he was, worried about that because he was saying that, he had these cabinets actually where they're cool and they protect against heat so they won't melt. And I mean, went through all this extra stuff in order to do it. But it's really up to us to change some of those habits so that we can eat calorie-free, carbohydrate-free, and sugar-free, and still have a delicious dish. So that's another thing. Avoiding all high-fat foods would be another thing. high fat foods, usually you want to limit the saturated fat. And saturated fat are those fats that do not change in room temperature. So in other words, they remain solid. There's one of the saturated fats that I suggest for you to find out more about, and that is the extra virgin coconut oil. Now, nibbling through the day on those little snacks that they read 100 calorie snacks, and it makes you feel like you're getting a meal in. Again, everyone, this is just for emergencies. Some of the things that we can do right away is cut the sugar and refined carbohydrates from your diet. And eating foods high in refined carbohydrates and sugar increases your blood sugar and insulin levels. So every time you eat something, you're going to have some insulin coming out. Now, remember, we talked about the pancreas, we talked about insulin, we talked about nephrons, we talked about all of that. And if you didn't, if you weren't there, make sure that you listen back to some of the earlier presentations that we've shared with you. Let's move on. If you're smoking, if you are a current tobacco user, smoking can contribute to insulin resistance. Now, insulin, they're saying just I would suggest don't smoke anything. And even if you're using cannabis, but if you're using cannabis to help you with certain things, find out, is there a way that you can get it through liquid versus smoking, because smoking can cause some problems, and it can also lead to type 2 diabetes. So quitting has definitely shown that a reduction of type 2 diabetes over time. Watching your portions, that's a super important thing. It's not, diabetes isn't about just a person eating a certain thing, it's about how much that they're eating. So if you're getting big around the waist, for instance, you got that little round figure, you shape like a pear, you shape wider like an apple. That is, this is why we're talking about this today, so we can get beyond this. Aim for 30. What does that mean? That means to go out intentionally and be intentionally active by walking, or just taking a walk. If you're not exercising at all, and you're not doing anything, then you're not helping yourself to be as healthy as possible. And that, my friends, is not where you want to be. Okay, you want to be physically active. You want to do something with your body, even if it is right where you are, standing up, moving. Now, all of this stuff will get you into place as we move forward into the new year. So we want to make sure that we're doing the things that'll make us a better person as this new year is coming up. Better person meaning that we're healthier. And I'm not judging anybody, but it's eating those things that are healthy for you, making sure that you get quality rest, surround yourself with some real beautiful people, that, and I mean those people that care about you. If there's somebody in our family that has diabetes, make sure that they take the steps to relinquish themselves of diabetes, meaning that they start to reduce the symptoms of diabetes by drinking more water, eating fresher fruit, making sure they have ample vegetables, making sure that they exercise. If you can go out, everybody do their part, but make sure you communicate with each other so you can have a cooperating team, and everybody's helping that individual manage the diabetes. Everything we can't cure, but some things we can simply manage, and this will still allow a person to enjoy their lives. Drinking water instead of the other beverages is a no-no. I just want to say that because, drinking water should be your go-to. You can write that down. Keep that in your mind, that your go-to for thirst and hydration is water. Okay. And that is, people have different types of water and different ideas. They'll say, here, this fruit is better than water. there's nothing that we know of to this day that replaces water. Simple H2O. Now, I know people have other different ideas other than that, and we can argue that point at another time. Let's move on to eating fiber. Eating fiber is super important because most people, 9 out of 10 people, have some kind of digestive disorder. Much of it is shows up in constipation. Other is moody, like when people aren't having a steady bowel movement, they're more apt to be grumpy, cantankerous, just like you getting on my nerves, that kind of thing. And we would definitely want to consume fiber and find those foods that are a good fiber source, such as vegetables and such as nuts, legumes, all the stuff that we talk about when we talk about whole food, plant-based. This is important, not to do it just because it's trending, but to know how it's going to help your body. Now, if you are dealing with, I should say, another thing that is important is to know your numbers. And in knowing those numbers, this will help you tremendously with diabetes. Now, a fasting blood sugar level less than 100 milligrams per deciliter. This is really important. Remember, keep that in mind, that number 100. Now, the holidays, again, I'm going to keep saying this. Yes, holidays are here. You're going to have you can substitute a regular pound cake with a vegan pound cake, and you'll have almost the same amount of sugar, if not more, if you're doing that kind of thing where you're just replacing food for food. But what I'm suggesting to you is to have more of the vegetables, more of your fruit and the legumes, the nuts, the grains, and this will help you to manage what we are talking about today. We're going to go ahead to Carolyn. Let her get her. We're going to reset, and then we're going to come back with more information. Carolyn?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Zarif. This is the Mind of Nature. You're tuned into Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist, and I am the co-host, Carolyn. Thank you all so much for being here today. We are discussing anti-diabetic meals for the holidays. And thank you to everyone that's here. I see Renee. Renee's here. Hey, Michelle. Michelle is here as well. And Andre Brown is here as well. Thank you all so much for joining us here on the live stream. It's just great information, Dr. Zarif. I'm happy that you mentioned as far as someone going from non-vegan, I think you said, what was it? Kind of cake. You just mentioned the cake.
Oh, pound cake.
The pound cake. Thank you. Going from let's say a non-vegan pound cake to a vegan pound cake, and now I think that's where people kind of get mixed up with certain things, because if they are looking at it and then say, well, I'm eating a vegan pound cake, well, that changes as far as the animal products that's in it, but it doesn't change the amount of sweets that's in it, right?
Right, or a lot of times the type of saturated oil, because a lot of those pound cake is called a pound cake because it's made with a pound of butter.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I mean, and then you also have your vegan butter, so it just kind of meets it where it was before, right? Where you still have those negative things that would cause it to still be an issue when it comes to someone who's diabetic. So
absolutely.
Yes, those are those things that people have to be educated on and realize what is causing this food to be sweeter, or what causes it to be sweet and what's not. As far as the sugar and the butter and all those other things.
Definitely. So that is a perfect segue to what we're going to do about right here. I'm going to give you some ideas. We don't have enough time to give you all the recipes, but just like Carolyn was saying, make sure you get like these recipes that just don't just swap out, because there's not, I want the vegan sugar, sugar is sugar, or I want the vegan butter. Butter is butter. So, but you find out that a lot of times you cannot, hide behind that. You have to make sure you take time to list all of these wonderful things down where you can stay abreast of what you're putting in your kitchen, because what you're putting in your kitchen has a lot to do with what you're selecting to eat. Now, a lot of people go and they're around people that eat healthier, but their nemesis, the thing that really, really gets them, is when they re-enter their home. And when they re-enter that home, hey, they open the refrigerator. How y'all doing? I ain't seen you in a long time.
Right.
I'm gonna eat you, and it's like, before you know it, you got the people that are, some people are really, really connected and addicted to eating certain foods. And these are people that we love. So we got to get on the case so that we can help, and not is a way to approach people. I'll put it like that. And when we're approaching people, we don't want to go there telling them what they can't do. Because first of all, yes, they can if they want to. Especially when they're grown people. We're talking to children, maybe that's a different story. But we want to say here and be involved, be active with giving, bringing, not waiting to Christmas, but anytime where you can take that meal over and see, I want you all to check this out. See how you like this, you see? And when you have different foods that help to build up your body, because after all, the foods that we're eating to extrapolate nutrients. That's why we're eating foods. So if you're eating and you don't have a purpose, like when people are just eating just to fill up their stomachs, let's change that, because that's the narrative that we've been living by for a very long time. I'm going to add a little sweetness to all this education and give you an idea of some of the things that you can use for the holiday meals. I'll give you the titles and you can look them up, and these are ideas. One is the squash and sweet potato corn chowder. Squash and sweet potato corn chowder. Next, carrot and ginger soup. Curry red lentil soup. Plant-based Christmas, I'll pass that one. Next, butternut Buddha bowl with black beans. Smoky lentils with kabocha or kabocha squash. Roasted root vegetables, quinoa salad with roasted butternut squash. Sweet potatoes and lentil stew, pumpkin and white bean stew, warming winter squash, potatoes and lentils, stuffed delicata, delicata. I don't know what that is, but that's on the list. And these are different types of squash, and there's a lot of different types of squash. You'll see them when people are actually selling them, but they're using them for decorations. They're not even eating the squash. They're just making it pretty for fall. Well, we're so jacked up when it comes to that kind of stuff. Oatmeal, Christmas cookies, and banana nice cream. You can actually make ice cream out of bananas, but do that and check on your own. That is so, we have so many. There's actually millions of ideas online that you can go to in order to enjoy the things that are out there and what's available. What you can do is to eat healthy and balanced meals. You can get enough rest and sleep, because I don't care how well you're eating, if you're not sleeping, a female can get away with 6 to 7 hours A male usually takes more time to rest. You notice that if you notice what time a female gets up, whether she's your partner, your wife, or your daughter, your mom, they get up at a different time, and that's just the way that females are built. Guys have more of a propensity to stay in bed a little longer. Engage in techniques or engage in activities that you find fulfilling and calming. So the kind of things that the family that stays together is the family that sings together, that plays together, that prays together. This is why it's so important to be around family and to be in contact with family, because family can keep your state of mind at a very calm state. We talked about the parasympathetic nervous system. Set realistic goals and expectations. Don't just eat for just today and just feel like, hey, I got enough, and we'll do that again tomorrow. No, and don't discount your the way that you can eat, because it is super important that you understand that this is a lifestyle. It's not just a hobby. It is a lifestyle. So now we went over all that stuff, and we didn't go into what is actually diabetes, because we know already that diabetes is something that you don't want. But I'm just going to give it to you like this. That diabetes is also known as diabetes mellitus. And there's type 2 diabetes mellitus, and there's type 1 diabetes mellitus. And now, it's a complicated condition, and there are many types of diabetes that I mentioned earlier. And let me just go over a couple of things. Like, if a person were to ask you what is diabetes, or you're wondering what diabetes is a serious condition where the blood glucose level is too high. Blood glucose is the blood sugar, another name for blood sugar. And it can happen when your body doesn't produce enough insulin, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds, or the insulin it produces isn't effective, and that's diabetes. That's the type 2. Or when the body can't produce any of the insulin at all, that's when that is called diabetes type 1, or type 1 diabetes mellitus. Now, there are two main types of diabetes, in type 1 and type 2. And when you've got type 1 diabetes, you can't make any insulin at all. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's when people have the type 1. No, they can't make insulin at all. As a matter of fact, they have to carry around, or they have to wear a pump. And this pump will periodically be used in the digestive system to take the place of their pancreas not producing the insulin. If you've got type 2 diabetes, it's a bit different. Now, the insulin that you make either can't work effectively, and that's called insulin resistance, or it can't produce enough, so it doesn't have enough. Like when a person gets so large that they have more cells, then they don't have enough insulin to service all of those cells. This is one of the ways that a person ends up with diabetes, or type 2 diabetes. Now, there's different conditions, but they're both definitely serious. Now, if you have diabetes 1 or type 1 diabetes, your blood sugar is too high, because the body can't make a hormone, the hormone called insulin. So keep that in mind, so you write those things down. So as you move forward from here, you will know that from now on. Now, there's fewer than 10 people in certain countries around the world that have diabetes type 1. But there's nothing that you can do to prevent yourself from developing type 1 diabetes. The exact causes are still unknown. But we do know that if you are raising a family and you want to reduce the risk of disease, if you want to reduce the risk of dying, of illnesses, if you want to reduce infection, we know now. It's not, we're not guessing. We know now that when you do eat those beans and when you do eat that brown rice and you do eat the vegetables and all the fruit and so forth, these are people that reduce significantly their chances of contracting a cold or a flu or a virus and all of these things, because we have foods that will prepare your body to deal with or to manage some of the things that are that you'll be more open to if you did not eat in the healthy way. Insulin is the main treatment for diabetes 1. You can't live without insulin injections or using an insulin pump. Checking and managing your blood sugar levels is important to help you to reduce your risk of serious short or long-term health problems. These are called diabetes complications. Now, I want you to look at type 2 diabetes, because this is what most people have. Type 2 diabetes is the most common type. It is just a case again of high blood sugar due to your body not making enough hormone. And again, the hormone is what? Insulin. That's right. Or what it makes what it makes not working properly. And that's known as the insulin resistance. So insulin resistance is when the insulin takes the sugar to drop in the cell and the cell rejects it. So it resists it. And that's the insulin resistance. Now, treatment includes eating well and moving more. So if you or your loved ones can eat and to move, to exercise too, you're going to be okay, because you're eating smaller portions of food and you're actually exercising and you're getting the rest. Absolutely wonderful. Type 2 diabetes can go undiagnosed for years. So don't, beat yourself up because you have a diagnosis of diabetes. Now it's about learning how to manage it. Anyone can develop type 2 diabetes, but it mostly affects people over 25 years old and often with a family history. Type 2 diabetes doesn't just affect people living with overweight or obesity, although this is one of the risk factors along with ethnicity. There's no cure, as we were talking about earlier, but you can manage it. You can't cure life, but you can manage it. There's no cure, but some of the people with type 2 diabetes can put their diabetes into remission by losing a significant amount of weight. So if you have sugar, that's one of the problems, but you can actually exercise and start eating correctly, and you can put diabetes in remission. And this is super important. Other types of diabetes include gestational, and gestational is when a woman is pregnant. Diabetes, which some women may go on to develop during pregnancy. And there are many other rare diabetes, such as type 3C and latent autoimmune diabetes in adults. But we don't usually, those are very rare. But what's important is that we understand what causes diabetes, and what all types of diabetes have in common is that they cause people to have too much glucose sugar in their blood. And that's the bottom. Whatever type of diabetes you have, it's going to lead back to you have too much sugar in your blood. So if you look at some of the symptoms of diabetes, which is going to the toilet a lot, especially nocturia, when you are getting up all through the night and you're using the bathroom 3 and 4 times when you should be sleeping. Being thirsty, if you're thirsty, and it's unusual, you stay dry, feeling more tired than usual, or losing weight without, I call it sick weight, or you're losing weight while you're not feeling good, and you're not even giving it any effort. You're just losing weight, and that is an imbalance. Uh, Genital itching or thrush, and this is you should understand this, because this will get you more into what is going on with your body as far as some of the bacteria with Shigella, Salmonella, E. coli. All of these should be understood, and we'll get into that as we go. Cuts and wounds take longer to heal. Blurred vision. All of these are symptoms of diabetes. And we just talked about the diabetes complications. And there are also some other related conditions. Having some of these conditions, such as the polycystic ovary syndrome, they can mean that you are more at risk of developing diabetes. So if you have some of these comorbidities, that means these other sicknesses, they can tie in to diabetes, or the reason that you may have pre-diabetes. Now, pre-diabetes, to me, it means before you get diabetes. I think everybody get that, as far as those people that have the propensity to contract diabetes. But some people have a blood sugar level that's higher than usual, but not high enough to be diagnosed as type 2 diabetes. This is called pre-diabetes, and it means that you're at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. You can find out more about pre-diabetes. Of course, just go online for that. But I want to get back to diabetes remission. Some people with type 2 diabetes are able to put these or to put their diabetes to back into remission again, be with the correct eating, making sure that you're not like, even when you make like some of these juices, vegetable juices and so forth, people are eating these and drinking the vegetable juices and the fruit juices and all that, and they're getting too much sugar. They want it to be sweet. Even the vegetable stuff, they'll take in and add a lot of the sweet vegetables, and they'll add some sweet fruit in order to make the vegetable drink sweet. So it's real easy, because it's the way that we've been eating a long time. Managing your diabetes is just getting used to life with diabetes can be difficult, but we've got a lot of this information that help us to learn how to treat and to manage the condition effectively. From advice about what to eat, to emotional support and guidance about driving. All of this, we're here to help you on in the mind of nature, and make sure that you get a supporting group. You need a support team. I don't care how I like to do things by myself. All of those thoughts that keep you in that same place where you are, you allow yourself to be open to people that will help you to attain your healthy weight. I'm going to stop here for a second, bring Carolyn back up, and see if we have any questions thus far. And let's go ahead and keep this thing going. And we're looking good. Carolyn, you have anything?
We're having a good time. Yes. I just wanted to say hello to a few people that I saw in the chat. My mommy. Hi, Mom.
Hey,
I see you there. And then there's Eric Smart in the house as well.
Eric.
And Rayshawn Sanford in the house. Hello, Rayshawn.
Every side.
um, great information. There is one question that I have, something you mentioned. You said type 2 diabetes, right? And it can go undiagnosed for years. So does that mean that someone goes to the doctor, they are, get checked for diabetes, and then from the doctor's test, they're not they don't um find that the person has type 2 diabetes? That's what you mean? Or is it that they are not going, so they're not being diagnosed with diabetes?
Yeah, the latter. That's the most people. It's very easy to detect. You can tell. There's the signs are pretty um, obvious when a person has diabetes. But the things like you can see when a person is overweight, you can say when a person what they're eating, if they're not exercising, um, if there's some of the things that I just mentioned, like if they're thirsty, they're tired more than normal. Those are some of the things that you can detect even before you get to a doctor's test. But yes, there are some people that are asymptomatic, meaning that they don't have those types of complications and they don't show. When if a doctor um, uh, uh, actually goes to um, is looking for something else even. When you look at it's a blood test, it's called a CBC, which is a complete a blood count. Your blood can show up on that panel, um, which is your report, and it'll show that you have your high here, your low here, and how far are you away from up or down to your normal or what is considered healthy. Okay.
Okay.
But,
So it would be that the person they go to the doctor, and when they get that test, it is they can see it. It's not that the doctor, or it's missed by the doctor for whatever reason. They just have to go and get that test, and then now they know.
yeah, that's exactly what it is because usually doctors don't miss that. That's not something that is easy. Now there are uh, other situations where it'd be easily looked over because they might be just looking for something else in specific and they didn't test for a certain thing. But as I said, there's so many visuals with people usually very easy to pick out. One of the things too is like even if you have like not the belt size, but if a person measure themselves and they're beyond 40 inches in the waist, everything the wrist shoots up in many areas. So a doctor is easily can easily tell that this person has the propensity for or the vulnerability to certain diseases. So that's really important. The idea is to understand how the food is broken down. For instance, like any food, name any starch, any starch. I'm putting you on the hot seat. Uh,
Rice.
rice. Okay. So if you have rice and the rice, actually everything that we eat, we start breaking it down. So it breaks that starch is broken down. And guess what? The starch then turns to glucose, to sugar.
Hmm.
The more starch that you eat, the more sugar that you make. And if you eat that in large amounts, and that's what it has to, we have to talk about those large amounts of food, and that's one of the things that can cause what we talked about, the blurred vision, the fatigue, uh, um, uh, all of those things. This that's really something that we can manage diabetes by um, choosing some of the things that we eat, how much of it, and understanding that those things like spaghetti and penne and noodles and rice and all those things, potatoes, they can break down and they can, the bottom line is that they'll end up being, that's a lot of sugar. And if you're not moving, you're not doing something. I mean, even if you're out hitting a bag, or if you're jogging, or, you know, a lot of times when I'm shopping, I make sure that I park under a camera and I park away. I just added to it. You know, usually you're away from the door, you know, the entry. So I take the longest way. Say, hey, get that. Even that little bit of extra really helps you to be active. So getting some walking shoes, taking that walk. You can walk and talk. You don't even have to compete. Me just walk and talk. Hey, what's going on, Eric? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. And that by itself is good enough for you to start using some of the excess sugar buildup, you see. But to get used to smaller portions, because smaller portions is the key to eating or treating the diabetes in a way that it can be managed.
Yes. And I think that's really important for people to understand, because I think people, or a lot of people like myself anyway, if you're not ingesting sugar, or if you are ingesting sugar, that's how you know you're getting sugar. But let's say it's something outside of sugar, like rice. You said that now when you consume it, it turns into sugar. I think just that education alone helps people to be able to identify that, hey, I'm still eating sugar, or this is still going to turn into sugar. You know, because you mentioned earlier knowing your numbers. It's like, if you know where you are, what your numbers are, now you know I can either eat this or not. And what that thing can be is rice. If I can't eat, if I can eat rice or not eat rice, you know, that's something that you need to be able to identify as well.
Exactly. And remember the portion control. You
Right.
can eat some healthy brown rice, but if you're eating a whole mountain of it, is you're still going to be open to, you know, the diabetes or having too much sugar. So
Absolutely.
it is beautiful that it has all the fiber, but when people overdo it, a big old bowl of rice and then a lot of butter and stuff in it and mixed it up, and you know, I think people, and I've said this over and over and over, that I think people would do way better and be more healthier if they knew what was happening, if they saw an immediate negative effect. If you
Absolutely. I
just
agree.
see, yes, if you see something that happens to you immediately and you can see through your skin, you were like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that to myself. If it was immediate effect, but since it isn't, and you can talk to a person 30 and 40 years about eating correctly, and they're still, hey man, I'm still here. You know, it shows you that everybody, there's individuality. There's specific ways that people are built, and some people can handle other things differently than other people. But
Right.
the bottom line, again, the biggest problem in that all types of diabetes have in common is what? Excess sugar in the blood.
Yes.
I want to go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, there is a question in the chat that I think it's definitely related to the subject, from Shirley. Does apple cider vinegar help to reduce the blood sugar?
Apple cider vinegar is known for some really good things, but it doesn't reduce the blood sugar. No, it has some other values that, but no, that doesn't. There isn't the only way to reduce the blood sugar is to reduce the intake of food. Whatever is reducing itself or breaking down to sugar. That's how we get rid of that. For instance, if you're diagnosed with diabetes and you know your eating habit, right? You let's say you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'll make it really simple. And the thing that you do, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you usually have whatever you have in that dish. if you start to reduce just the amount of what you have in that dish, anything, you just start to just take a little bit less than that, little bit less than that, and a little bit less than that, with no measurement cups and all that stuff. Just take your spoon and remove it. You have less than you used to have, right? And then if you have like another dinner, a larger amount, some of the things that you can do instead of eating a very large amount of food there, have less chicken, have more vegetables, have more salad, you see? And then you start making those adjustments. Then you start working on making yourself better. Making yourself better. I don't mean that you're not eating good now. I mean that it paying more attention to what you are eating and those particular amounts. Like you can have one of the things that, and this is why this goes to prove this, is that you have guys that are that size is important to them. You know, having a real big body. That big body requires you to eat like you never ate before, like food is going out of style. I've had plenty of these guys that make money, and this is the way that they feed their families, by being, you know, competing against other guys with these huge bodies. They are downing super big calories. I give you an example. The guy named Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock. This guy eats so many calories, 4,000 and up per day. You know, now a lot of like a cardiologist, I think that Nurse Shirley can attest to this, is that the cardiologist would say, I think that's Nurse Shirley's specialty, and if or is it oncology? I could be mistaken, but in any case, the important thing is that when you are eating a certain food, again, keep in mind that the size of what you're eating makes a huge difference in the way that it affects your body. Concise, there it is. All right.
Yeah.
What we got here, absolutely. Once I started the smaller portions, I realized that it didn't take as much to fill me up. This is Yolanda. Check out her page. Thank you, Yolanda. That's definitely on point, because Yolanda has always been one of those sisters that you like, whoa, all the shapes, you know, and stuff. She's always been one of those curvaceous sisters. And she acknowledged that she got out of control with the eating and the portions. And now she's saying that she really, after eating, going back and eating in that certain way, she realized that you don't need all of that food. I get up in the morning sometimes and I'll have some grapes, or I'll have some peaches sliced up, or I'll have a couple of fruit and some water, and that's it, you know? And then as I get later in the day, I'll have my large meal in the middle of my day. So let's say I get up at 6, I eat between 6 and 7. I wait until 12 o'clock and I eat. I eat little snacks there too if I need to. Then sometimes I'll just have something like some, dried fruit, not the kind with the aluminum sulfate, just the dried, sun-dried. And I'll take that and then I'll eat the raisins or, some raw cashews. And then I'll have, like in the middle of the day, I am eating the large amount of food. This is the key here. The largest amount of food should be in the middle of the day, because you have the rest of the day to walk it off, to dance it off, to walk your animals, to play with the children, to do your thing, play ball, whatever it is. You have enough time to do that. Don't and stop going to bed with all that food on your stomach and going to bed with it, because guess what? You're going to have to deal with it all the way through the night. And by the time you get here that next morning, you won't have enough energy to fight all that. When it comes to like your behaviors, one of them is the sedentary lifestyle, which means people just sit around there, not that active. We won't call it lazy. It just means that it's just not that active. So like working at a desk for long periods without standing up. Now, 30 to 45 minutes, you should be standing up. Stand up, and then you stretch out. Sometimes go an hour, stand up, stretch out. We're sitting down here. We've already been talking a little bit over an hour, and we've been sitting down. But you do that periodically. Of course, we're hosting, so we won't be standing up in the middle of the camera. That won't be cool. But, you get the idea. Do it in balance. Sitting down while studying your schoolwork for long periods of time without standing, that can cause it too. And sitting or lying down while watching television or playing video games, you got to move. This is time that you move. Sitting while driving in the vehicle, if you can, stop at, if it's long commutes, you stop at resting points or different places on the as you exit. That might be a hotel or a gas station, and you stretch. Stop for the stretch. That's why they call them resting points. Okay, so we're gonna go just a couple of more things, and then we're gonna let everybody get out of here. There's back to the recipes. The healthy recipes are as good as as they are delicious, and that's what you're looking for. You want to have the recipes to start with some healthy ingredients, mainly nutrient-rich, unprocessed, unrefined, seasonal whole foods. Now, that means the foods that you don't want to be making your Thanksgiving dinner and your Christmas dinner and New Year's dinner out of the box, or something that you just put in. There's a different what is that called? This is I don't want to say it. I don't want to say the name of it, but there's a product that is like a fake. It's supposed to be a turkey. It's nothing but a clump of soy there, and people take the soy and they actually cut the soy, and that's supposed to be like they do a little dressing with it. I think a little dressing comes with it, and they eat it. Well, again, eating too much soy or eating too much of anything isn't good. So you want to take a mixture for this Thanksgiving and these holidays. Mix up. Make sure you have a real colorful dish, and don't get stuff that's cooked to death. Stuff that's just wilted and just there's nothing else left in that stuff. You want to have a little texture of crunch to it, not just some soggy leaves that you're eating. A healthy reputation is built upon the recipes that are as good as they are delicious, and this starts with the healthy ingredients. Some of my recipes emphasize the nutrient-rich, the unprocessed, and whenever possible, in-season foods. Okay. Don't do anything that, like, oh man, there's so many things that you can do. Don't waste your time on talking about things that you can't do. Okay, we're coming to the end now. So I just want to share this with you. Now, how some researchers analyze, there's things that you want to look out for as we go into the holiday, and that's trans fats. You want trans fats, you want to stay away from those fats that are, that can stay on the shelf forever. You want to use cold press or extra virgin olive oil, whatever is available other than those oils that's been extrapolated by heat, and that's most of them. So make sure cold press. That's why you want to get those, because they have more nutrients in them. You also want to be aware of salt. Your salt is good for the taste, and a little pinch of salt there, but recipes are tested with the iodized salt or table salt to indicate or to find out how much is too much. But you want to make sure, again, just a little pinch of salt, just enough to bring the flavor out. Also, you want to be aware of some of the alternative ingredients. So it's good to understand that when you look at certain things like your galactose or your lactose, or it might say levulose, or uh, all of these different sucrose, and um, they'll have different names. All of these names are for sugar. So you want to know those names so that you're not thinking that you're eating something that is super healthy, and it's not. Now, there's a group of people that have allergies. If you have allergies, raise your hand. No, the allergies here, this is really important. I want to talk about this because Black folks have a lot of allergies. We definitely, and the some of the youngsters now, asthma is increasing. Let's start off with dairy free. Dairy free contains no dairy products or ingredients that have been derived from or contain dairy. Such ingredients include, but not limited to, butter, cheese, cream, and all forms of milk, fluid, dry, evaporated, and condensed, sour cream, and yogurt. All of these are dairy free. So if you have allergies, here you'll know how to choose. You choose now with making an informed decision now. Let me see. Let's go on to egg free. Egg free does not contain any type of egg, including but not limited to chicken, turkey, duck, quail, goose eggs, or the ingredients that derive from or contain any egg component. Such ingredients include but not limited to whole eggs, white eggs, egg powder, eggnog, egg-based mayonnaise, and that's egg-free. And this is what it is supposed to be. If it's not like that, then that is a deceiving label. Nut-free means that it contains no peanuts or any varieties of tree nuts, nut butters, or nut containing ingredients with the exception of coconut. The FDA identifies coconut as a tree nut, but it is not responsible for but it is responsible for very few allergic reactions, and the reactions that do occur or not generally observed in people with other free nut allergies. Individuals with tree nut allergies talk to their allergist before consuming coconut. Sesame free is next, and the sesame free contains no sesame seeds or ingredients derived from sesame seeds, such as tahini and gomashio and hava. All of these starting January the 1st of this year, sesame will become the 9th major allergen that must be labeled in plain language on packaged foods in the United States. Now, I'm just going, there's much more here, but I think this is enough to get you started and to know, I should, before I even go on, got to say gluten, because that's a multi-billion-dollar industry now. Gluten-free. Now, gluten are those foods that do not contain wheat. They do not contain barley or rye or any ingredient that contains or is derived from one of these ingredients. One of the ingredients is triticale, spelt, kamut, wheat bran, durum flour, enriched flour, and semolina. And this is really important for you to know so that you won't have, some people might break out a little bit, but other people, their life can be threatened by them not eating those foods that will cause that kind of allergic reaction. Okay. Now, I was going to another point before then. The it is not important for you to become vegan. It's not important for you to become vegetarian, but it is important that you don't put so much on the title, but put more on what you have on your plate, what you're eating. Ladies and gentlemen, this makes a huge difference in your daily bowel movement, the way that you feel, your energy, the way that your cognition, your thought, how fast you're responding to things. Eating in a healthy way makes a huge difference. A huge difference. While we're talking about vegan and vegetarian, I'll just give you. Wait, Carolyn, why don't you explain the difference between the vegetarian and the vegan?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, my understanding, difference between a vegetarian and vegan. Vegetarians don't eat meat. However, they would still consume animal products like milk, cheese, dairy. As far as vegans don't eat meat. They don't eat dairy, and actually taking it even a bit farther, they don't wear leather or engage in any kind of activities that may include having animals involved, and like going to the circus. I mean, that's like hardcore to me, vegan. But that's pretty much the difference between vegetarian and vegan.
Thank you very much.
I did that well.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to put it all together here. Remember, while there's not ample scientific evidence that for a healthy person, any one nutrient boosts immunity. That's really important because some people think that, oh, I took vitamin D3, or oh, I took potassium, or I took. We still haven't talked about that yet, and that's as we go along, because people right now we're taking vitamins like we would take medicine, medication. It's a big difference. I'll show you the difference between those things, because there's some things that you can take. One um, supplement can void another supplement. So we want to talk about those things. I want to say this as we start wrapping up here. I am so wonderfully honored to be just to have the opportunity to talk to my people about getting you know, richer in the sense of education, about richer in the sense of consideration for family, richer in the way that we look at ourselves. Because this is the only way that we're going to really make a difference in what we've been doing. And if we continue to do what we've been doing, all we're going to do is get the same results. This is the time right now, better than any other time that I've known in my lifetime, to get yourself together. Make plans to be healthy. And for the rest of your life, think about all the fun, think about all the beauty that you have in visiting family and talking to family, and the love that you have for your friends, your relationships, so forth, your marriages. It's really a wonderful opportunity to enjoy life as it's meant to be enjoyed, not to suffer, not to experience injury, pain, and all of those things. So thank you very much for your attention. And this is something that we need to do more often. And we will be doing this every Saturday at 8 a.m. Now, I know you won't be here every Saturday, but, we'll keep the chair for you. And we really appreciate you being here. I just wanted to say that. Carolyn?
Absolutely. And I just wanted to highlight just a comment that was made by Michelle. Um, I remember you teaching me that animal proteins are the hardest molecules to break down, and we should never eat those foods at night. Our bodies are at rest at night, and we should eat those types of food that complements that rest. So I just wanted to
It
highlight
exists. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's great. I love it. Oh, I love Michelle. She's just really uh, just a really wonderful. She look, if you ever want to meet like a walking angel, that's her. This lady cares about. She's overcome cancer. She's helped so many other people continue working on, getting their lives better, to eat healthier. She's helped people with the, keeping their minds focused on exercise for themselves. She didn't just work out for herself. She's like, come on and work out with us. She's just been, oh man, I can go on and on and on. Thank you very much, Michelle. I really appreciate that. That's just really, really awesome. Oh, we have Renee Johnson. Long time. It's so great to see great ideas to make changes needed for a healthier lifestyle. Absolutely. Here's another. Now, Renee is in Detroit, Michigan. And these are people, see, we don't have to say stuff and then think about whether you believe us or not. We have people that are constantly coming and displaying or leaving us a note or making a comment about how we are very, very important to each other, and how very important we are when it comes to eating foods. Make sure that we have the rest, and I love it. It's a beautiful thing. I wanted to have, there is one of our, if I can find it here, is one of our sponsors. We have a sponsor today by Boobology, and Boobology is they're actually they're selling everything out. Here it is right here. I don't know, Carolyn, can you type this in and then maybe we can just put it up on the screen? This is for women that have, like hard to get things like slips. That's a hard to get item, and that's a very important for some types of clothes that women wear, where they don't want, that they'll be more guarded, more private. These clothes, they had other things. I want you to go on yourself, ebay.com/USR/woman.west. Okay, woman.wes_37. Did I say it slow enough?
I believe so. I'm just going to go ahead.
ebay.com/USR/woman.wes_37.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. This is that it
There
right
you
here.
go. Yes, thank you. Woo-hoo. So we get there. That's for women that like, they have everything: the panties, the bras, the oversized, the large bras for, or if that, I heard they were hard to find. So, okay, there you go. This is really good. They have shapewear bras. They have female lingerie, and they also have some collectibles there that you can get online. So check them out, everybody, and go over there and make some purchases and right in time for the holiday. I wanted to make sure this is a client that is always there for me, and we want to be there for him too, and his beautiful daughters. Okay, and is there anything else we need to announce before we move on?
For me, I'm always reminding everyone that's here now, or saying thank you, first of all, for being here, and then also reminding them to subscribe to the YouTube channel if they have not already. because that is something that we are working on growing, and there's more content that we'll be putting on the YouTube channel, Dr. Farid Zarif YouTube channel. So just a reminder to do that.
Well, I want to thank everybody over there on, for Arabic. Why don't you, Amira, if you're still there, just put your, we want to go ahead and help Amira get that first place. So please make sure that you vote for Amira. Amira, put up that link so everybody can go to your link and that they can vote for you as you're almost there. I heard it's only two days or less than 2 days to go. So congratulations. I'm telling it ahead of time. I've made my votes. I want you to go there too. Everybody, please do. I want to welcome and thank very much Ms. Daphne Smith, which came today, and we definitely want to say hello and send love out to her. One of the most beautiful women on the planet, and we love her. And we want to thank Shirley, which is our resident nurse.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that was coming to my mind. She's our resident nurse.
Yeah, she's our resident nurse. We want to be big about it. You got to think big to be big. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
thank you, Eric, for being here today, brother. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Jackson, Sophia Jackson, 2022. Thank you. And we got Big Boss 5. And what is this? Panche? I think that is. We want to welcome you, Big Boss, and everybody else here. Thank you so much for being here. And over here we have. Why don't you do some thank yous over here, Carolyn? You have any more? You got anybody?
Just highlighting everyone, just saying thank you for the information. So I was just highlighting those, and those are the ones that were coming in.
Well, you should.
Thank you as well, Dr. Zari, for the information, because you're free with your information, and just giving information to people. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
What? That's okay. And it's all beautiful. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's stay as healthy as we can. Make sure that we remember all the things that we went over today about diabetes and the different things that you can do to enjoy your holiday. Please continue to pass the word, especially those of you that are here with us. Love you too, Mom. Thank you. Oh, thank you. You more than welcome, Amira. We want everybody to make sure that they send their friends. Look, the language of this on the social media is that you like us, that you subscribe, that you leave comments, and we can't do it without your help. We're not gonna go in there. We need you to do that for us. So we'll keep on bringing. We don't mind it because we love you, and we want to make sure we really. Hey, you both another good one. Thank you so much. I was reading that like in the voice of DJ Khalid.
Yeah, I know, me too. Another one. Yeah.
Yeah, another one. Yeah. So we just want to thank you all very much, and make sure that you take on the responsibility. Remember, there are a lot of alternative ingredients that we should know about. Remember the added sugar. You want to stay away from that. You want to stay away from that and make sure that you are allowing yourself those 3 important things. Getting a lot of rest, make sure that you're exercising, and make sure that you are eating foods that are filled, they're nutrient dense, okay? All right, with that said, we're going to say have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you from everybody around that came and sat down with us for a little bit and discussed. Renee, welcome back. And Yolanda, thank you so much. Love you. And we will see you next week. Thank you very much, everybody, and peace and blessings.